Ace Will's a genius.
It's your boy Ace Will, aka Next Level Ace, back with another video. In today's video, we talking about how companies are reporting that they are recording record-breaking profits while simultaneously having record-breaking layoffs. You see the problem? You're having record-breaking profits because you're making all this money, but you're getting rid of so many people that all that number do is go up. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. It's a terrible game that they're playing right now. You know what I'm saying? And this game isn't allowed to be played in most countries, but in our country, for whatever reason, they could do whatever they like. But there you go, man.
Did you know that in most countries it's illegal for a company to lay off employees when they're making record profits?
Illegal.
Yeah. In Europe and Asia, what we would consider the richer countries have put worker protections in place that have stated if a company is making record profits, they have to have a very strong case against you to fire you. So it can't simply be we need to make layoffs just because. You can only be laid off because of bad performance or bad conduct, but they have to have evidence that they met with you, told you what the issue was, and gave you time to adjust and fix the problem. And you have to have a timeline for these things. It's an actual plan. You know, you're doing some things we don't agree with, you need to adjust. And then upon review to see if you've met those rules, they can let you go. But here in the United States, because our politicians are being bought by companies, there are no such protections, which is why we're hearing about mass layoffs in the tech industry, which is why we're hearing about companies just randomly laying off people in this factory, which is why we're hearing about people just losing their jobs, which is why we have lost 1.1 million jobs this year alone.
That is insane.
I don't understand how we can scream that United States is the best country in the world, and yet people can lose their livelihood for no reason in the blink of an eye. Please keep in mind that Tesla workers didn't know they got fired until they got to work and their ID badges didn't work. There was no warning, there was no structure, they were just gone. Please keep in mind Amazon is just arbitrarily letting people go. All of these companies are making record profits right now. If we're the best country in the world, you would think that the citizens would be taken care of and have security in their jobs. But hey, Project 2025 and go Trump and go Republicans, because they're definitely going to make sure you're taken care of, even though we bailed out Argentina for $40 billion and we continue to send billions of dollars to other countries. Great. Y'all have a great day.
Man. How y'all feeling about that? That's tough. I ain't gonna lie. If you have a job right now, you are blessed. You are blessed. Do not take your job for granted, but also do not be complacent. That's my thing, is never being complacent. That's why I'm making content. If you know me, you know that this is not my only channel. This is my newest channel that I'm trying to build up, but I have like 3-4 YouTube channels, and putting out content is just another way for me to just keep spreading my wings. And all the other things I do, make music, invest, trade, whatever. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, man. So if you have a job, I have a job right now. I am thankful for it. I am beyond blessed, but I also realize that there's no security there. At any moment, they can decide that, you know what, we're gonna lay some people off. And my job has had layoffs in the past. Now, I wasn't there when the last layoff happened, but they have had layoffs, I think, once or twice before. So it's not like that's not the norm. That's kind of the norm for our company. And the people who've been there, there's been rumors like, yo, eventually there's going to be probably another layoff. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I always keep that in the back of my mind that like, there may come a time where this job lets me go. So between now and then, if that ever happens, I need to be preparing myself to be okay if that happens or when that happens. See what I'm saying? So that's why I invest, save my money, I continuously work on building new avenues of revenue, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I can't afford to sit around and dwell on the thought, but I can actively do things to replace or subsidize that income if that time ever comes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's we live in terrible times right now where these companies are allowed to do whatever they want because they pay for their power. Their money is their power. They put money in these politicians' pocket, and the politicians push the bills and the laws and stuff that directly help those same people who are paying them, which makes sense. If somebody's paying you millions of dollars, you're probably going to do whatever you can in your power to make sure that that person is taken care of. But when we're talking about a country should not be ran in that fashion. But what can we do about it? There are some things we can do, but are we ever going to get to the point where we all just come together and be like, all right, we're not standing for this no more? We'll see. But until then, this is what we're dealing with.
Microsoft lays off 7,000 people. Guess AI can write pink slips and not just code now. Now, I'll read you the story and then I'll tell you what's really going on. So first of all, story says layoffs are focused on gaming, HR, and recruiting divisions. Second, they're redirecting headcount into AI, Copilot, and cloud infrastructure. Third, record profits in Azure while trimming non-core units. Record profits and layoffs at the same time. Shame on you, Microsoft. Fourth, publicly labeled as organizational alignment, not layoffs. I'm sure that makes you feel better when you took 7,000 jobs away from people. Number five, employees blindsided after their promise in 2024 of no more cuts. And number six, internal sentiment shift, AI jobs growing, everything else shrinking. What's really going on here is that Microsoft has bungled the gaming completely. All kinds of problems with EA and staying on message and producing good content. And I can't remember the last time I saw anything innovative come out of them. Now, of course, we got the stuff that's the standalone stuff that we buy every year. We buy our Office, we buy Word, Excel, PowerPoint suite, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I have seen no new innovation coming out of this company for some time now. And I can't remember the last time I saw somebody even buy a Microsoft computer. So whether they're trying to focus on chips and compete with NVIDIA or whatever they're trying to do, it's just not working right now, where this common sentiment that they keep trying to lay things is realignment, restructuring. It's a bunch of crap. We all know it. If they have record profits in Azure, then they shouldn't be cutting 7,000 jobs from people that desperately need them in this economy. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Microsoft lays off.
Is the 7,000 jobs directly resulted? Like, is the 7,000 jobs directly resulting in the profits? You see what I'm saying? Because you gotta think, you got 7,000 jobs on average. Let's say you paying what, 50,000. Let's say just you paying everybody $50,000 a year. 50,000 times 7,000. Let me do the math. But come on now. So if you paying everybody at least 50K and you cut 7,000 jobs, you're saving $350 million. So it's gonna automatically look like you had a $350 million increase, right? Or that may not be how it's calculated, but I would think like, okay, you're literally cutting out $350 million of expenses by getting rid of these 7,000 people. So how would that not reflect in your profits? Because now you're profiting more because you have less people, right? So that's what these companies are doing, is like, you know what, we don't really need all these people. We're gonna get rid of some and we're gonna profit more. But it's like, if your company wasn't failing, it's one thing when you're laying off because the company is going down. But when you lay off while your company is still profiting and steady growing, that is terrible, because you're literally doing it for the sake of profit instead of like really looking out for your employees who have helped you remain profitable. I get it, but I don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying?
Is America the greatest country in the world?
Since the job reports has come out and they said that we've lost 1.1 million jobs post the layoffs this year, I want to remind people that this would be impossible in any other developed country. They just make it illegal. You can't do layoffs while being profitable. You have to have just cause for letting people off, and you can't just do it to bump your numbers. America's the only country we have such weak worker protections that you can just fire people by the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands for no reason other than drive the profit.
We have corporations making record-breaking profits, laying off workers during the worst time of the year, the worst time in the economy. Other countries actually protect their workers. They make sure they're paid fairly. Most countries get 4 weeks paid vacation every year and health insurance. Money needs to come out of politics. Do you agree? Is America?
Bro, I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for a long time. Bro, Americans, we are sold dreams over and over again. We are sold dreams every election. Every election, we are sold dreams. They tell us we're gonna do this, we're gonna help y'all with this, once they get in office, they do what they want. They don't really uphold anything that they told us prior. And yeah, we literally keep going through the same thing over and over and over again. So my question is, at what point do we say, you know what, at some point we have to make a change for us, for the people, not for the politicians. We don't care about the president, none of that. We got to start doing stuff for us. The fact that we're supposed to be living in this is the greatest country of ever. The American dream is like, how many Americans live in the American dream right now? Ask yourself, how many Americans are living the American dream right now? I don't know many, man.
Why do companies do mass layoffs in record profit years or push broken products to market? Because the corporate game isn't about people, it's about shareholders. And if you don't know the rules, you're the one getting played. If you're new here, hi, I'm Deepali Vyas, your elite recruiter, and for 25 years, I've been in the boardrooms watching these decisions unfold, and I'm here to tell you the truth about how the game is really played. Here's how it works. Wall Street first. Share prices and quarterly earnings take priority over sustainability. Employees second. Loyalty doesn't protect you. Mass layoffs happen in profit years because people are just line items in the model. Customers third. Quality gets sacrificed, products get rushed, not for innovation, but for optics. So for my leaders out there, short-term wins aren't a strategy, they're corporate cannibalism. Gutting teams for a stock bump might please your shareholders today, but costs you trust, innovation, and staying power tomorrow. And for employees, don't mistake profits for protection. The company can celebrate record earnings and still hand you a severance. Your loyalty should be your own skills, adaptability, and long-term gain, not their balance sheet. The corporate game was never built on fairness. It was built on power, perception, and numbers. And once you see it clearly, you can play it without getting played. And that's why my next live career game plan webinar is dedicated to decoding the rules of this game, so you can protect yourself, lead smarter, and win on your terms. Comment Zoom and I'll send you the link to join. I'm Deepali Vyas, your elite recruiter, doing the research for you, so you don't have to.
Shout out her. Hey, I like what she said. Like, just because you have a job and you know that your company is profitable, profitability does not mean security. A lot of times we would think that way, right? I know for a fact at my job, people will be like, we need to get our numbers right. We need, we gotta do what we gotta do, make sure our numbers is good, make sure we getting the product out, make sure our customers are happy so we make money so we can keep our jobs. And it's like, we can do everything right and still lose our job. That's what I want people to understand. And this is why I always tell people this, and they might look at me like I'm crazy, but I'd be like, bro, there is no job security. You can never be 100% sure that, like, bro, I'm gonna have this job for the next 10, 15 years, man. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't no layoffs coming. Ain't nothing. I'm good. You cannot guarantee that. There is no guarantee, man. And that's why I'm the way I am, where I'm so focused on building things for myself. I like to have things, and I want to build things that operate without the corporate backing. You know what I'm saying? Like content stuff, a way for you to make money to where it's like someone can't just come and be like, I don't need you, you're fired. Now granted, we don't own these websites, we don't own these platforms, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. At any time, YouTube can change, Twitch can change, these platforms can change. But is it likely? It's not really. I don't feel like it's super likely, for the simple fact that they make money when we make money. So we're kind of feeding each other, right? Now, you would think that our jobs are the same way. Like, I come and make my money and I help you make money. So yeah, we helping each other. Help me help you. But with jobs, it's just not that simple. As you can see, all these people that have been helping these companies make money for year in, year out, you have record-breaking numbers, and in that same time, you have record-breaking layoffs. Like, you laying off people while you're making all this money. Like, just make it make sense. There is no security in profitability. I like that. Shout out to her, the elite recruiter.
Y'all, GM laid off 200 engineers just days after raising profits. You know, I took notes. Let's talk about it. In a move catching many off guard, General Motors has laid...
Let me stop right there. They laid off 200 engineers. Bro, growing up, I remember they used to be like, bro, go to school, be an engineer. You know, they always need engineers. Engineers always gonna have a job. Now, granted, those engineers might definitely be able to just go somewhere else and get another job. But I guarantee out of those 200 engineers, there was a few of them that was like, yeah, I'm gonna be at this job till I retire. They had no clue that in the near future, like, oh, I'm gonna get laid off and I'm gonna have to find another job. You know what I'm saying? This what I want you to be aware of. This is why I want you to prepare. I want you to understand that, okay, I can't just rely on this one income, because at any moment, this one income can fade away. Same thing if you're doing content. You don't want content to be your only source of income, because content is very up and down. The algorithm changes. You could be super hot 1 month or for 6 months, and then your numbers start going down. The money just not hitting the same. So when you do have your moments with making content, with making lots of money, make sure you're investing in doing things to set yourself up for later. Same thing with your job. While you're making the money, while you getting these checks, make sure you're saving a little bit. Make sure you investing a little bit. Think about later. I do understand that we all be wanting to live in the moment, but a lot of times living in the moment, a lot of times living in the moment hurts you later. You gotta live in the moment, but you gotta be very cautious and very aware. Don't be out here spending your whole check because you know you get another check next week. Because you might spend that check, clock in to work next day, or think you're gonna clock in and your badge don't work. And you just knew, like, damn, I knew I was gonna get at least another check. I ain't even gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Don't take none of this for granted, man. Think about later.
Off more than 200 salaried employees, mostly engineers, only days after the company raised its 2025 financial guidance and celebrated one of its best stock days since 2009. The cuts come as GM continues to restructure and strengthen core design capabilities, according to an internal statement, to say that the affected workers were told their jobs were being eliminated due to business conditions, not performance. President Donald Trump praised new tariffs on trucks this week, saying Ford and GM are up big on tariffs. But even with tariff relief, automakers continue to shed U.S. jobs amid EV market uncertainty and cost-cutting pressures. GM's U.S. salaried headcount has fallen from 53,000 in 2023 to about 50,000 today. We recognize the efforts and accomplishments of the impacted team members, GM said. Do you though? It's worth noting that most of the engineers that were laid off reside in Detroit, Michigan. What do you think, guys? Fair or foul? Put it in the comments.
I got one more for y'all though.
My corporate hot take is that companies shouldn't be allowed to do layoffs if they have a certain level of profitability. Now, how profitable does it need to be? I don't fucking know, but somebody can figure it out. And I don't care if it's a big company, a small one, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we have to stop letting these companies get away with maximizing profit for just their top executives and fucking over the lives of everyone else. Like, I don't understand how this happened, but somewhere in the last 5 years, it became extremely normal and desensitized to have this many layoffs. This shit is not normal. My corporate hot take is that...
How y'all feel? What y'all think? I ain't gonna lie. I do, well, maybe because, you know, I don't know. I'm 28. I'll be 29 in a couple months, right? And in my lifetime, though, I don't remember that many big layoffs. I really don't. I don't remember that many big layoffs. So it's like, right now, for me, is like the first time I'm experiencing so many people being laid off. I know people personally who have been laid off, you know what I'm saying, like recently, and I see how it's affecting everybody. Everyone's scrambling, trying to find another job so they can take care of their responsibilities, their bills, their kids, and, you know, just keep up the life that they were already living. And it's just tough. That's why, like I say, I'm blessed. I don't take anything for granted, and I'm trying to do my best to prepare myself for unforeseen things that may take place in the future, because like I said, I don't know. I can't sit here and act like my job is very secure because I don't know that for sure. I know as of now I'm still employed, you know, and I'm thankful and I'm blessed and I'm gonna do what I need to do. And yeah, how y'all feel about this, man? Do y'all think companies should be able to do this? I don't think they should be able to do this. Now, if you're, like I said, if your company is failing and you're struggling to stay afloat, that's one thing. But to be literally just firing people just because you can, while you're also making big jumps as far as profits go, is insane and damn near inhumane. Like, it just shows y'all like nobody really cares for real. That's what I always get from all this. Nobody really cares about you. That's why when it comes to politics, I don't really dive too deep into politics because I always just feel like at the end of the day, I gotta do what's best for me. I gotta make decisions and put things in place for me and my family. Because at the end of the day, I can't count on no politician or none. I can't count on no president, no politician, no, governor, no. I can't count on none of these people to do things that's gonna benefit me. Now, that's not to say that they don't ever do things that benefit me. They may do things here and there that just makes my life a little easier, but no one has ever done anything that was just so life-changing that like, oh my God, I'm just so grateful and my life is just so much better because of the decision or the bill that was passed. It was like, nah, a lot of the times we're stressing over how these new laws and bills are about to change our lives in a negative way. So I don't know how y'all feel about it. Comment down below. Until next time, next level ace.